Sitting in his truck, Jason watched blankly as the woman carried the groceries from her minivan into the house. He was sure she wasn't even aware of his presence, or she would have looked in his direction and waved or something. She was in her early 30s, dressed in jeans and a t-shirt, as usual, with minimal makeup and her shoulder-length brown hair with blondie strands tied back in a ponytail. She had the look of an overbearing mom, devoted to her children and family. However, Jason knew that underneath that modest outfit was a 5'7" body, trim enough to be a bikini model. Her beautiful face, when she was wearing full makeup, was as sexy as any woman he'd ever met. Jason might have been biased, since he had been married to Karen for 9 years. She had Friday off and was running errands as usual, so she could spend more time with her family and their 3 children on the weekend. Karen had expected Jason to be at work, and if he hadn't gotten a call before lunch, he would have been there now. He sat there, dreading the conversation he was about to have with his wife. He glanced at the manila envelope and decided to wait a few minutes. Let Karen put the food away and sit down before he took her by surprise. While he waited, Jason thought back to where he thought it all started. Damn Rhett and the bachelor party he had to throw 2 weeks before Jason and Karen's wedding. Sure, there had been a stripper there, and while Jason hadn't felt any pain, he'd gone a little farther that night than he'd intended. Somehow, Karen found out about it and became furious. Condom or no condom, ejaculation or no ejaculation, he had cheated on her. After a 15-minute altercation, Karen took off her wedding ring and left. Jason tried calling her for days, but without success. He left message after message, apologizing and telling her how much he loved her, but decided the wedding was off. 4 days later, Karen returned at night and ordered Jason to be quiet. She said she was willing to overlook and eventually forgive what had happened, but under certain conditions. The first condition was that if something like that happened again, she would leave him for good. The second condition, which she said was non-negotiable, was that to even things out, she would get a free night as payback. Karen said she didn't know when or with whom, but Jason couldn't feel any resentment or guilt for her settling the score. Jason loved Karen so much and was so afraid that he had lost her forever that he agreed. She then asked if he wanted to know any details about her free pass. He replied that he didn't want to. Just the realization that it was going to happen was painful enough. Karen smiled and said that she would be very delicate when she made her decision, and he wouldn't know anything. But it would happen at some point. Jason looked at the envelope and wondered if she had finally exercised her freedom. He really wanted to believe that, but a sick feeling told him that she hadn't. Karen nearly dropped her mug of tea when Jason entered the kitchen. "Jason, you scared me. What are you doing home? Are you feeling sick, baby?" "Actually, I'm not feeling my best," Jason said. "Look, there's something that's been bugging me for a long time. I think it's finally gotten to the point where it's affecting me. I really need to talk about it." "Okay." Karen watched with a concerned look as Jason crouched down by the island. She remained standing but set the tea down. "Remember the pact before the wedding?" Jason said. "I've changed my mind. I really need to know. Did you ever use your free pass? And if so, when?" Karen looked more ashamed than concerned and didn't look at him again. "Han, we agreed never to talk about this." "No, you gave me a choice," Jason said. "Now I've changed it. I don't need to know the details, but please tell me if and when it happened. Living in ignorance has been a black cloud, and I think it's even affected our relationship." Karen sighed. "Okay, remember the promise not to take offense. It was on our honeymoon. I was with someone when you went fishing." "With who?" "I was gone 3 times on that trip for at least an hour or more." Karen shrugged. "We agreed on a full night. Since it didn't happen there because I was with you, I figured being separated 3 times was the same thing. Since you never knew, I thought I was being cautious. I also made sure to use protection and wash myself completely, just for you." Jason started counting in his mind. If he started yelling, he wouldn't stop. Now he needed to keep his temper in check. It was now more than ever that he needed to keep it together. "I'm sorry this has been weighing on you," Karen said and smiled weakly. "I thought you knew I'd get it over with right away so I could focus on being a wife to you and then a mother to Carrie, Relly, and Gray." Jason pulled out an envelope that had been stuffed in his jeans pocket under his shirt and tossed it in front of Karen. Her eyes widened and seemed to start watering when she opened it. Inside were 5 pictures of her sleeping with Mark West, a coworker who had started working with her only a month ago. "What an..." Karen muttered. "He wanted me to either dump you or stop having sex with you. I told him it was just a one-time fling. I guess that's his payback for me choosing you over him." "You talk about it so noble," Jason said bitterly, "as if you could have lived happily ever after, but instead you sacrificed sleeping with a younger, healthier man to stay with me." "That's not true at all," Karen said. "It's just that I love you, and it was just a horrible one-time mistake that meant nothing." "Didn't mean anything?" Jason said, and half laughed. "I'll tell you what meant nothing. It meant nothing, but it was enough to make my wife think she slept with another guy 3 times on our honeymoon," Jason said. For the record, those photos were taken by a private investigator hired by Camila West, Mark's wife, who is 8 months pregnant and has a child under a year old. She had suspected for weeks that Mark was sleeping with someone and decided to find out exactly who. After hiring a lawyer, she approached me today. No, Karen said. "We had lunch or something together, but the sex was only once, I promise. I never knew he was married, please." "But you knew you were married. What about your second promise? You know damn well that sleeping with some guy 3 times was going beyond what we agreed on, and it was so damn unfair. Nothing I did justifies you doing this." "Look, I gave you a chance when you cheated," Karen pleaded. "You owe me the same. You get a free pass, 2 free passes. Just don't tell me, please, Jay. Think about our life together, the kids." Jason laughed. "If brief sex is worth 3 in retaliation, I think an affair is worth more than a couple of hall passes." "I'm already well aware that it wasn't the first or second time you've been in a hotel room with him on your lunch break. You're right, though. I will do to you what you did to me. As far as I'm concerned, damn it, the second time you slept with someone on our honeymoon, you cheated on me, and don't bloody deny that you didn't know that you did. I was stupid enough not to want to know, and you took advantage of the fact that you had a free pass. Unless I'd forgotten, you said that if it happened again, it was over between us." "Jason, no. Just because I still think you're a damn good mother, I'm not taking the kids or this house, but I'm divorcing you." "Don't try to contact me until it's finalized," Jason said coldly. "And if you sleep with Mark or anyone else before it's finalized, I'll make sure you get nothing, and that pisses blood for a week." "Jay, please, I'm sorry," sobbed Karen. "No, you're the one who's sorry. I'm sorry I didn't that stripper when she suggested it, since I got punished the way I did anyway. I'm sorry I agreed to a damn unfair arrangement that basically resulted in you feeling no guilt for having fun with other men. I know it wasn't the only time, but I chose to ignore the signs, partly because I didn't want to believe it, and partly because of that stupid freedom. I'm sorry it took you 9 years to realize what an immoral you are." Jason grinned. "What I'm not sorry for is keeping in touch with your cousin Rain, who I know you hate. She found me on social media after I told you about how she flirted with me at your sister's wedding. Nothing much happened then, even though you made me spend the night on the couch, but something is going to happen tonight. I'll be sure to take some pictures to send you. Bye." Jason smiled as he left the house and listened to her sobs and pleas. He was happy that this unknown passive was out of his life, and especially because he wasn't bluffing about sending pictures.